Hey, my beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of Exploring Your Inner Love with Sasha Ripley. And today we're going to talk about a touchy topic, right? We're going to talk about how to rebuild your life. And in the process of you rebuilding your life, what it takes, right? And I feel like this is something I wish somebody would have told me about, growing up. I wish somebody would have told me, Sasha, when you get of a certain age or when you reach a certain point in your life, you're going to become a whole totally different person. And the things that used to work for you no longer work for you. Basically, the keys that you had to those doors no longer work for the new doors, right? I wish somebody would have told me that. Because in therefore I would have somehow, some way, slightly prepared for having to rebuild my life, right? So let's jump into the first step on what you can do to rebuild your life. I would recommend that you take as much as time to yourself to relax and to accept the fact that you've changed, that you've became a new person. And if you really think about life, that's what life is about. Life is about growing, evolving, right? And like I mentioned before, you had a set of keys that worked for a certain amount of doors. But then now you reached a point to where you have new doors, but you still have the old keys. So you have to sit back and strategically learn, okay, what can I do to get the new set of keys so that I can enter into the new doors, right? During this moment of like you rebuilding your life, I feel like it could feel like frustrating. It could be upsetting and frustrating and just anxious because you've spent so much time, effort, and energy into creating a life that you thought was going to last you a lifetime. But then you reached a point where that life no longer serves you. So, in the midst of you feeling angry, frustrated, and all of those emotions, I want you to step back and I want you to have a growth mindset. And I want you to think about what it took for you to become this new person. Because you accomplished a goal that you're not aware of. You became the person that you wanted to be. And now that you've reached a step where everything is confusing, it doesn't look right, you want to go back to your comfort zone. But that's how life is. When you're growing and evolving and it seems like stuff is just changing and changing and changing, that's great. It's changing for you because you're changing, right? Everything is energy. So therefore, if you want your life to change or if you want something within your life to change, all you have to do is change yourself and then outwardly will change with you. That's how powerful you are. And I feel like some people don't even know like how to use their own energy to like their benefit, but you're extremely powerful. But you're literally sitting in a blessing or you're literally sitting in a prayer that you once asked for, which is to be the person you are right now, which is to change your life, which is to put you in the rooms that you've always wanted to be in. And then now that you're there, it looks scary. It looks confusing, right? And I know because I've been there. I've been there and I'm currently there now. So this is what's going to lead me into step 2, which is I want you to step back to the drawing board. You remember when you was planning out your whole life and you thought, okay, this is what I want to do. You looked into the universities you had to go to. You looked into how many years it was going to take you to complete the bachelor's, the master's, and the PhD degree. You looked into the license, the credentials, and different stuff that you had to, pursue in order for you to become this person that you wanted to become, right? I want you to do that again. But this time, I want you to have you in mind. I want you to think about your passions and the things that you really want to do as the person you are right now. And it's not to say that you didn't do that before. You probably did. It's just that those things no longer serve you. Those things no longer bring you the excitement that it once brought you before. So now this is your opportunity for you to explore yourself. And if you don't know, the things that, excite you, or if you don't know what your passions are, give yourself time. Ask yourself, what is it that you want to do? Meditate. Ask yourself that question and then meditate. I guarantee you're going to get an answer. You're going to get an answer. It's not one time that I sat down and I asked myself a question and the question didn't just randomly pop up in my head. You're always listening to you. Okay? All of the answers is literally within you. You just have to ask yourself. You just have to find a way to get those answers up out of you. So for me, I've always known that I've had this, how to say it, I've always had a really good way of like, motivating people, like encouraging people, motivating people, and like giving people advice on like, how to get through this situation, how to do that, how to have this type of mindset. Instead of you having that type of mindset and you worrying about that, then you need to worry about this, right? And this is where exploring your inner love came from. Is because I did step one and then I did step two. I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, well, what am I good at? What is something I wouldn't mind doing for the rest of my life, right? And I feel like growing up, we was somehow, some way, you was asked that question, like, what is that one thing you would do if you wasn't getting paid? What is that one thing you would do, right? Now, I ain't with the, you ain't getting paid for it because you gonna pay me. You're gonna pay me. However, I do, get the question, what would I do if I wasn't getting paid? And I feel like if money, if we lived in a world where money wasn't around and we was able to fulfill ourselves based off of the things that we like to do, I would be going around talking to people. I would be going around motivating people. I would be going around inspiring people, telling people, hey, look, instead of you doing this, how about you do that? Instead of you doing that, how about you do this? Like that would be that would be me, you know? And I would find enjoyment within that because I'm good at this. Like I'm good at talking. I'm good at, breaking things down and making sense. I'm good at, connecting different points to like different experiences and helping people to see things in a different manner, and I'm good at inspiring people. I'm good at encouraging people. I'm good at pouring love into people. I'm good at pulling the characteristics out of people to show people like, it's not all about, the negativity, but you do have positive characteristics within yourself. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to go back to the drawing board and I want you to figure out what it is that you're good at. What it is that you like. What is something that you've always wanted to do, especially when you was a child, right? Because I feel like that was the truest version of ourselves when we were a child. But then society stepped in and then we got programmed and we lost sight of ourselves. So if you need help with trying to figure out what it is that you like to do or what your passions are, think about the things that you did as a child. I know for me, I was very creative. Like I love art class and like I used to create all types of stuff. I used to like create all types of like hearts and turn them into like butterflies, and I used to like make flowers and different stuff like that. Like I used to love that. And like I still kind of love it. Maybe I need to go buy me some construction paper and decorate some walls and just put some butterflies and flowers on the wall just to, remind me of my childhood. But those are the things. That's what I used to like. I used to also love to dance. So I used to love to dance. Oh my goodness, girl! Like my favorite song would come on, girl. Listen, you couldn't tell me nothing. And I'm still working on like building my confidence to like get me back to like where I was when I was a child. But that's what I used to like to do. So if you're kind of confused on like, okay, what is it? What do I like? What do I like? Think about the things that you used to do as a child, right? Okay, so then let's go into step 3, which is to utilize those gifts to create and to rebuild. So as you can see, I just told you the whole rundown of where and how exploring your inner love came from, of how I feel like I'm really good at communicating with people, talking to people, encouraging people, inspiring people, right? So now I've utilized that gift into creating my YouTube channel, into teaching people how to explore their inner love with, building their self-esteem, with talking to their inner child, with setting boundaries, with learning how to apologize with themselves, to learning how to rebuild their lives, and so on and so on and so on. So however you fit, or however it fits within your life on how to rebuild and create, do that. Do that. Okay, so say for instance, if you are artsy type of person and you want to create art, create your art and then sell it on Etsy. See? Create your art, sell it on Etsy. And this is something that I want you to what I want you to be mindful of is that you're going to notice that there's a lot of people doing almost the same things that you're doing, right? When you get on Etsy, you're going to notice, oh, these people are selling art, and when I look at my art is not as good as their art, and you may feel discouraged and different things like that. And nothing is wrong with that, right? Because it's a part of the journey, because you have to learn how to build your own confidence while you're on this journey. You're going to have to learn how to say, you know what, I see that there are 50 million other people selling art on Etsy, but it's only one me, and it's only one me that can make this one piece of artwork. It's only one me that put in the intentional work, the intentional love to create this artwork. Okay? So you have to learn how to set yourself aside when you're embracing this journey of you creating what it is that you want to create. There's 50 million people in the world, but there's nobody like you. And you have to keep that in the back of your mind while you creating stuff. And you really, really have to remember this, because you're in the process of
So these are the things I
rebuilding.
wish I
So
knew
it's just think
in
about
my early
you
20s
rebuilding a
or
house. If you was to start rebuilding a house, and if you
I,
were able to learn how to put the foundation down, you're gonna feel confident when it comes down to put that foundation down. But when it comes down to you building the walls and you putting up the sheetrock and all of that good stuff, you may get scared, because it's like, okay, these, the sheetrock and the plywood is really big. How do I measure this up to measure that up? But then you reach out for help. It's not like you're going to be building this house by yourself. You get what I'm saying? So in the process of you rebuilding your life, you have to one, know that you have to build the confidence within yourself, and that you have to believe in yourself 100%. And two, know that you have help around. You can always come to YouTube to ask YouTube for help. Like, YouTube is literally one of the most powerful tools that was created. Whoever created YouTube was brilliant. Was had to be a genius, because it's a wonderful tool that you can utilize. Okay? And then that's going to bring us into the last step, which is to embrace the new you. And that's what, basically what I was just saying about, building that house and building that confidence. Embrace the new person that you are. Think about how much time it took for you to become this person. Think about the boundaries you had to set. Think about the no's you had to tell people. Think about the frustrating upsets, nights and mornings you had to spend with yourself, because you was going through a season of transitioning. Think about all of that. Think about the sacrifices you had to make to become the person that you are right now. Don't let it go to waste. Don't let it go to waste. The worst thing you could do is let it go to waste. Baby, continue to grow. Continue to evolve. And I'm going to tell you right now, on this journey, it's going to be some hard days. I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing and make it seem like, oh, it's perfect and it's good. No, it's going to be some hard days. Because you're going to realize as you go on throughout this journey that, the keys that you once needed for these doors, you're going to have those keys. And you're going to be able to unlock those doors and go in those doors whenever you want to. But then there's going to be some doors that's going to appear and you need to get in that door, but you ain't going to have that key. And then now you have to figure out, okay, how I'm going to get this key to get into this door. And then sometimes In some situations, you may realize you may never get that key. Yeah, you may need to get in that door, but you may never get that key. Or that key may come to you when you least expect it. Or that key may come to you when you no longer need that key. But then what are you going to do in the meantime, between time? Are you going to stand there at the door? Are you going to knock the door down to get in there? Or you going to say, you know what? I'm going to create another routine. I'm going to create another route. And I'm going to use these keys to these doors that I do have access to. And I'm going to do what I could do at the best that I could do. And I'm going to use what I got. And that's how I'm going to do it. So, you're going to have hard days. If you think about it, you've became a person you don't know. You've been the person you've been for so many years, but now you a whole new person. So you have to be gentle and kind with yourself. It's just like you been working at this job for 30 some years, and then now you get a new job. You have to relearn, you not even relearn, but you have to learn a whole new system. Because the things that you worked at the things that you knew at that last job don't work at this new job. This is a whole new job. You're in a whole new state at a whole new job. So you have to learn the new systems. You have to learn what it takes for you to fulfill this position as whoever you are. And that's just what it's about when it comes down to you being this new person. You have to learn how to be this new person. You have to learn what works for this new person and what don't work for this new person. But the last thing you want to do is to find yourself stuck in your comfort zone. Because you didn't become this new person being in your comfort zone. Somehow, some way, in order for you to become this new person and to accomplish a goal such as this, you had to get out your comfort zone. So stay out of your comfort zone. Don't go back to what you used to know. Don't do that. That's the last thing you want to do. Just continue to walk in the unknown. I would rather walk in the unknown and in the darkness than to walk in the light. Because if I'm walking in the light, then I know what's ahead of me. I know what's going on. And for me, in order for me to grow and for me to learn and for me to evolve, there has to be some unknown. I have to be able to get there and to figure things out and say, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I don't want to be able to rely on the things that I already know that stuff. I've already experienced that stuff. That's like you taking a test that you passed 50 million times. Eventually, you're going to get bored. You're going to get tired of taking that test. You're going to be like, man, look, challenge me. Give me something new. Give me something I don't know. Give me something that's going to stimulate my brain and make me think. You get what I'm saying? So, those are the different steps I would encourage you to use throughout the process of you rebuilding your life. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. This is going to require you to believe in yourself 100%. Because you're going to find yourself doing things that's scary. And what I mean by scary, you know how when people say if you ain't afraid of your dreams, you ain't dreaming big enough? That's what I mean by scary. You're going to find yourself thinking about the most biggest dreams, the most biggest idea, the brilliant idea, and it's going to scare you because then you're going to ask yourself, how am I going to be able to do this? And it's going to require for you to believe in yourself 100%. I don't care if you sit down and you talk to your spouse and you tell your spouse about this dream and they don't believe in you. You tell your parents about this dream and they don't believe in you. Look, let me tell you something, baby. On this journey, you're going to get very, very, very lonely. Very lonely. If you ain't lonely already because you realize it's certain people that you can't be around, there's only certain people you can be around, you're going to get real lonely because you're going to realize a lot of people ain't going to support you. A lot of people ain't going to believe in you. And guess what? That's on them. As long as you support you and as long as you believe in you and as long as you show up for you, that's all that matters. So you got to believe in yourself. Bet on yourself. And I know for a fact, me betting on myself, I know I could get myself where I want to be. I know I can. I know for a fact it's not a bone in my body that tells me I can't do it because I know I could do it. I could do it plus a whole lot more. and a whole lot more. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to know, I could do this. I could accomplish this. It may be some days where it's looking a little funny. Your money may be a little funny because you want to invest in this, but your money a little funny, and that's okay. Sit back. Manifest. Talk to the universe. Talk to God. Talk to whoever your higher power is. Tell them, look, this is what I got going on. This is what I want to do. I'm sticking to this, and that's that. But I believe that whatever it is that I want and whatever it is that I need will come to me. Because whatever it is that I want wants me. Whatever it is that I need needs me. So that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with today. And I'm gonna see you guys for another episode.